Shalom, everyone. Welcome. We're still in the Psalms series. We're going to be going through Psalm 103. I wanted to show you guys the PDF and EPUB version of Hebrew Foundations Bible is now available on hungryforhebrew.com, including the Greek New Testament. So jump in, find that. I'm also working as hard as I can to get the app out as quickly as I can. Today, we're going to be reading from the app, and that way everything is clickable. Here we are in Psalm 103. Who would like to get us started with verse 1?
I'll jump in.
Peggy, I saw your hand first. Go ahead.
Li David Barki Nafshi et Adonai Vekol Kirve Kirva
Right. Kiravai.
Kirava
Kiravai with the yod at the end.
Kiravai et Shem Kadso
See how I made that bigger?
Odso.
Kodsho, exactly. Kodsho. Le David. Okay, so Le David, that's our introduction to this title. It's not glamorous, it's super short. We just are told that this psalm is either from David, for David, dedicated to David, something. We actually don't know necessarily. We assume that David wrote it, right? But Le David is ambiguous enough that technically someone could have written it for him and dedicated to him. But that's neither here nor there. Le David is the introduction. Barachi nafshi et Adonai. V'chol. You can see how the kamatz katan is just a little bit bigger than a regular kamatz, just a little bit. And that's to help us differentiate the two. But also, if you turn on the transliteration, it says, it puts the O vowel there. V'chol keravai et shem kodsho. Okay. Why is there a chirik yod on the end of barachi? Well, let's start with something easier. What is the root of barachi?
Barach.
Narrative.
Like baruch, berech, it has to do with blessing. It might, probably also has to do with the part of the body called the berech. What is the berech?
Knee.
The knee. So this connotes an
bowing.
idea of like bowing, bending the knee, something like that, like whether it's to I guess receive a blessing, perhaps, right? One bends the knee to receive a blessing. I don't know. But in the verbal PL form, it is to bestow a blessing of some kind. Okay, so then my question becomes, why is there a chirik yod on the end of this verb?
Speaking to a feminine nafshi.
Okay.
Feminine.
Right.
There's
Okay.
an
So
imperative.
Nefesh
yes,
is
yes, yes. There it
feminine.
is. It's an imperative that is feminine singular. So I am speaking to you, oh Miss or Mrs., whatever, some kind of a feminine singular recipient of this imperative command. Great. Where is she? Who is she?
Nafshi.
Nefesh.
My
Very
soul.
good. So nafshi is feminine singular. It's one of those irregular nouns that doesn't necessarily look feminine because it doesn't have a feminine tav or a feminine kamatz hey, but it is still treated feminine. Look, we have irregular nouns in every language, right? Except Pig Latin, maybe. David Barachi nafshi. So I am commanding, O my nefesh, to bless et, direct object marker, the Lord above, creator. V'chol kerav. Ooh, and that's the halfway point of the verse. So since we're in the Psalms, we're expecting there to be parallelism. V'chol keravai et shem kodsho. So what's the root of keravai? Is that another imperative?
No, that's a noun.
No. The IE tells us two things. What are they? The IE
Mine.
suffix. It says it's mine.
Persons, yes.
It says it's mine, and it says
Plural.
It's singular.
plural. Very good.
Oh,
Plural.
plural.
Good. So keravai, kerev is the singular, and kerev means something kind of like innards or guts, or it's stuff in the middle of your body, right? Well, that's kind of gross. No, so keravai is referring to my inmost parts. Hey, that must be parallel to
Soul.
Nefesh.
nefesh. Exactly. I don't think that soul is necessarily the best translation for nefesh. Nefesh is more like the entire composite individual body, consciousness, breath, life, all put together. That would be maybe a better. It comes from the root that means something like throat, breathing, animate object, something like that. And then when the Greeks come around, then we convert the definition to soul because Plato told his disciples that when he dies, don't think of him as being dead, for his soul lives on. That's actually where we got the idea, not the Bible. So thanks, Plato. I should say he was the first person to suggest this idea. Put it that way. So v'chol keravai, is this in construct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yep.
kol is a noun and karavai is a noun, and they're next to each other with an of relationship. And all of my inward parts, et. Wait, that's a direct object marker. Usually we need a verb in order to have a direct object marker. I don't see a verb, do you?
Nope.
Well,
Let's
that's
see.
awkward.
It,
Do we just
Is
wait
it
here at the bus
referring
stop
back
until it
to
arrives?
bless?
Very good.
Or
Yes. So
keep?
it's elliptic, or it's an ellipsis, I guess is the right way to call it.
Oh,
It's an
Yeah.
ellipsis where you're using the same verb twice, just not stating it explicitly twice.
Mhm.
So, and all of my inward parts will bless or should bless, or I'm telling them to bless, right? It's an imperative. Et Shem Kodsho, the name of his Kodesh. What's Kodesh?
Holy.
holy.
Okay,
Holy.
it's a noun. It's a noun. Anything that's a
Holiness.
seglet is a noun. So kodesh is a noun. Nefesh is a noun. Kerev is a noun. All of those seglets that have penultimate stress, they're all nouns. So it has to be something that's a noun.
Substantive.
So
Yeah.
holy is an adjective. I can describe something as holy, but the pattern is going to change in Hebrew. Kadosh, that's the pattern for an adjective. But kodesh is a noun. So that's why it's his holiness. Has to be a noun or set apartness. All right. Who wants verse 2?
Yeah, I'd like to read.
Okay, Anatoly, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
Barahi nafshi et Adonai be'al tishke hi kol gemulav.
Very good. Barachi nafshi, we already saw that earlier. Et Adonai, ooh, we saw that again. Wait. Does that mean this is a certain kind of parallelism? Was it called
Wow.
staircase? Is it called
Yeah, I
staircase
would
when you
think so.
when you say one thing, something different? Say the same, repeat it, and then add something different. So we have basically an A B A C
Mm.
pattern where these two are repeated. Well, I mean, sorry, my lines are all over the place. There we go, where that's repeated. And so I think that's called staircase. But I personally think it's one of the most boring poetic literary devices, but it's still kind of cool. And how many songs do we have with repeated words? Yeah, so it's not that big a deal. And let's see. Then ve'al tishkechi kol gemulav. Without even seeing this word, what do you know that it
Volative.
is?
Volative.
Because of the owl, we know two things. Well, three
Negative.
things. Okay, one of them, it's negative. Negative what?
Negative volative.
Negative
Mhm.
volative. And, ooh, I guess we only know two things. I was going to say the third thing would be that this is a jussive,
Not necessarily though, right?
right? Because it could be attached to a cohortative, like let us
Okay.
not do something could also have an owl in front of it. But there is no negative imperative form. It necessarily has to use the jussive. So you're right. It's if I say let's not do that or I don't want to do that, it would have al in front of it. Or if hey, you don't do that, or let him not do it. All of those would be jussives. And okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Al tishkechi. We have tav at the front, yod at the end. And so we know that again, it's 2fs. All right. The yiktol and jussive forms have tav at the front, chirik yod at the end for 2fs. Kol gemulav. Wait. If this is 2fs, then what's it speaking to?
He's still
soul.
speaking to the
The soul's not
nefesh.
supposed to
That's a
forget.
nefesh.
Still talking
Yeah.
to the nefesh, right? Barachi and al tishkechi, both of these are referring to the nefesh. Hey, you, O nefesh. And kol gemulav. What are we supposed to do with this? We know what kol is. That's not a problem. What's gemulav? Well, what's the root?
Gamal.
Kamal. It's not camel either. It's a different gimel, maybe.
It's the same letters though.
By the way,
It means that recompense or reward or something like that.
okay, so just to on a linguistic note, gamel is precisely where we get camel. It's a direct cognate. The C and G going back and forth is well attested. Anyway, so a gamal is a camel, but this is not the word gamal, but it does appear to share the root. What are we supposed to do with this? Okay, so it means something like, what did you say, Cheryl? It means something like what?
Like recompense or
Recompense. Here it
payment
says benefit.
or
Okay.
reward, sort of.
So in the app, you get to click on the word and it shows you gemulav. It shows you how to pronounce it. It says what the gloss is. It gives you the Strong's number. It gives you all the information, how many times it shows up in the Bible, yawn. It also gives you the definition here lower. So we're seeing those words showing up: recompense, benefit, dealings, something like that. Well, I wonder if I can go over here. Is that going to give me? Oh, yeah. And this is where you get to see all the different forms and frequencies and whatnot. Okay. So anyone want to maybe venture a guess as to what this has to do with camels?
Did they pay in camels? That's
My
They
son would
hauled
like to
all
marry
of
your daughter. How many camels do you have?
Yeah.
Well, they
Sorry.
hauled all the things that you would buy that you would get recompense for.
There you go. They were the freight trucks of the ancient Near East. If you see a freight truck coming, what do you know? Good things are coming. Like
Spices
lots of
and
good,
oils
lots of
and
goodies are coming.
meat.
Lots of things that people want to buy are on the way, right? And so carrying this stuff that people want to buy is the picture that we should have in mind when we think of the gamul, right? What are
Benefit.
I wonder if we can you know what I really, really want to do is I want to attach it to the word gamul. I'm not sure if that's linguistically responsible to
Gagul?
do. No.
Didn't think so.
There. That's what I meant to do. So the word that we're looking at is gmul, and I want to try to attach it to gamul. What would this hypothetically be?
That's a passive participle, isn't it?
Passive
Like a
participle.
benefited one? A benefited.
Okay, so passive participle means that whatever the action of gimel mem lamed is, it becomes a passive part. That action was done to the thing we're describing, right? So love is the action of what I do to my wife, but if I am loved, well, then I'm receiving that action from somebody else, but someone is still describing me with an adjective saying, oh, he is passive participle loved, right? Okay, so this is a passive participle. And if gamal might mean something like bring good things, then gamul would mean that it was brought. It's something that has been delivered, right? And so I'm tempted to connect these two I would have to do a little more research, see if that's whether that's good or not. Anyway, and ooh, I
But that's
wonder.
plural, so it could be gamul because gemulav is a construct. So,
Of course,
so it
of
would
course,
be
it's an
that. But so is gamul the singular of benefit?
yeah.
Gamul?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
gamul.
didn't explicitly
Yeah.
state that. So gemulav has a possessive suffix that says it belongs to him, and it has a yod saying that this word is plural. The gemulav, it's going to tell us that the part of speech is a noun, right? Is it a
Yeah.
noun? Plural construct. Yeah, it calls it a common noun. Okay. So it's not going to be a participle, an adjective. But anyway, so the point is that it is a plurality of things that have been transported that belong to him, ostensibly good things. So however you want to translate that into English, go for
Congratulations, you've just been cameled, like you won the
Yeah.
lottery.
Yeah.
it.
Linda was wanting to read in the beginning, and I think it wasn't heard, but for the
Linda,
next
did
one.
you,
That-
Linda?
It's okay. I'm always willing to try, so it's a good way to learn. So when I get corrected, it just makes me move a little farther ahead. So I'm always happy to give it a shot.
All
That's
right.
great.
Gabrielle, you've been waiting with your hand up. Do you mind if I let ladies go
No,
first on this one?
Oh,
no, go ahead.
let him go,
Uh,
then I'll go sometime. It doesn't
Okay.
No, I
matter.
don't mind.
Sometime is now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sometime is now, Linda. This is let's see. We're
Okay.
on verse 3. Can you see it
Three?
okay?
Okay. Hasaleha
Mhm.
lekol avonehi harafish harofe
Mhm.
lehol tehaleluahi yeah. No,
That's
what's that?
there's a lot going on there in that word. You
Yeah,
want to give it another try?
yeah, te ha lu I yeah
Good.
ki.
Okay. I would
Ah!
offer a couple of suggestions. This is for everybody. Because of this thing called a siluk at the end of the verse, this is just at the end of the verse. We know that the stress goes here,
Okay.
and stress in a closed syllable is always going, excuse me, when the following letter has a schwa, it is always going to be a closed syllable in a
Okay.
stress syllable. So this right here is going to be a closed syllable. So
A
how would
ye?
you exactly I
I.
as opposed
Okay.
to I, which would be an an audible vocal schwa under the yod. No, it's a silent schwa. I. That's it. So I would divide this
ki.
word into 1, 2, 3, 4 syllables. I would say tacha.
Ta ha lu I ki.
Good. And so because of the stress right there, give it a little extra oomph, volume, pitch, something like that. So
Te ha
ta,
lu I ki.
there you go. Tachalu aichi. Tachalu
Ta ha lu
aichi.
I ki. Oh, that
Uh,
helps. Thanks.
Can anyone identify the root of this this word over here?
Chala.
Hello.
Chala.
Het lamet olive.
It.
I heard Chet Lamed Aleph. Do we know a Chet Lamed Aleph root?
Chala, to be ill. Holy.
So Chet Lamed Yod, whether it shows up in the verb as chala with the missing yod, or whether it shows up in the noun with the yod, like holy, and the root is Chet Lamed Yod. So why is there an aleph there? Probably just because it's next door to an actual yod, and Hebrew wanted to kind of iron out the yay sound and turns it rather into chalal. Yep, tachalu aichi as opposed to tachalu yaichi. which is really going to get you in trouble because of the ooh, yeah. It's like a 1, 2, 3 vowels all crunched together.
It like
And
twists your tongue.
right, exactly. So the simplification of the word has taken place. This continues to occur in modern Hebrew with certain words where an original historic yod becomes an aleph simply to make it easier to pronounce. This is the root chet lamed yod, sickness, disease, weakness, something like that. We need to peel away a few things here. What is the chi doing at the end?
It's a feminine single.
Feminine singular. Sec two feminine singular. You, yours.
But it's not common, is it?
Are you asking if this suffix is common?
That, yeah,
This
that
form,
eh.
this form of the suffix is not common in biblical Hebrew, but it is original. So the suffix chi is the original 2fs ending that later turns into
Eh. Yeah.
right? So whether it's achi becomes ach, or echi becomes ech, or anything else, chi becomes ch. Aramaic did something similar with the 2ms. In 2ms, the suffix is cha, and Aramaic turned that into ch.
Go figure.
But they kept the 2fs chi. So whereas in one language they lost one vowel, in a different language they lost another one, and bringing the two of them together and comparing them, we can see what the original was, not to mention Arabic still uses both. So anyway, this is the 2fs suffix, hers. What is the purpose of this yod?
Plural.
Plural, right? Plural yod that occurs before the pronominal suffix. If it's not part of the root, it is a plural yod. So these things are plural, and that's why we get diseases in the translation. Hasol, yes.
Yeah, tachlu, it's a tav. What is the pattern? The Mishkan for
Let's
that
see.
now.
According to this, we're looking at the word tachaluim, which in the lexicon is plural. So I'm not sure that the singular ever shows up, does it? Nope, the singular never shows up. We have tachalu'e, tachalu'aichi, that's the one we saw. This one is hers. This one is plural. This one is plural. Yeah, it always shows up in the plural. So in the lexicon, they list it in the plural. So does that, I guess that begs the question, is it, one would assume that its structure would be taktul. Very good. Taktul. Taktul. Like
So
this, where
what's
the
the
kuf.
tav for?
The tav is part of the structure of the word, as is the u vowel. And so this is all part of the pattern of the word. And much like Migdal has a mem at the front, or Arba has an aleph at the front, or Malchut has a tav at the end. It's all part of the structure of the word. It's the mishkal, or the pattern of the word. And the pattern of the word typically conveys the function of the word too. In general, you'll find that all of the words that have this pattern seem to have some function in common, or at least historically they did. And that's the
Like
beautiful
making
thing.
sick, like tach. It almost sounds a little bit
Right.
Hefish, like the
Right.
tach,
So
like making
yeah,
sick. Is it?
exactly the ta at the front. Ooh, hey, y'all are gonna love this. No, I'm not going to say that. It's got a little bit of speculation built in it, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. Okay. Any questions before we move on to the next verse for Gabriel?
Oh, Jerry, why
Yeah.
there's no dagesh in calf? Since you say
Wait. Oh, in this cough right here?
Yeah.
Sorry, I circled the whole word. Let me think about this. Hang on a second. It would
Good
be
question.
because this schwa right here was an original short vowel, whether it was a chirik or a patach. And so when it reduces to a schwa, it's actually preserving. How do I say this? The short answer is it's a medium schwa. Which is really just a cop-out answer for saying it's a silent schwa that behaves like an audible schwa. So a silent schwa is supposed to be one that doesn't make any sound whatsoever, and so the following letter is going to have a weak dagesh, like this one. Audible schwa is going to, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, audible schwa is making a sound so that the following begad kifat letter does not have a dagesh. So what happens? This is me speaking rhetorically. So what happens when we should have a silent schwa? Alas, there is no weak dagesh. We come up with a new name for it and we call it a medium schwa. Essentially, this is saying that the transition from what used to be to what currently is caused a little bit of a mix-up in the way the word is pronounced. So that's why you get words like where is it? Mal, oh yeah, like this one. Malche. Malche, why? Why is it malche instead of malke? Because, well, they would say it's a medium schwa. There's a much more complicated answer here that I don't think it's worth to bring up, but just to say medium schwa is what it's called. If you want to go look it up in the grammar, you're welcome to do that. And any other questions? We didn't really talk about the rest of it, did we? Hasoleach. Why is there a patach right there?
Guttural.
Good, patah.
A furtive patah.
Furtive patah.
Good. It is a furtive patach. Why is it there? Why does it
Because
exist?
So you can pronounce
the vowel is not a vowel.
The gutturals ayin, chet, and consonantal hey were all pronounced deep in the throat. And unless the mouth is already in an ah shape, they were historically very, very, very hard to pronounce. And so in the Judean dialect, they would actually insert a patach if the preceding vowel were not already an ah vowel. That's the reason for furtive patach. There is a theory about the Galilean dialect that they did not use furtive patach, and so they simply would have swallowed the guttural or tried to enunciate it without any kind of an ah sound, and the Talmud says that the Judeans made fun of them for it. And this becomes rather important with words like this. What word is this?
Yeshua.
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 Okay, if we are in Judea, this would be pronounced Yeshua. Or, excuse me, let me try again. Yeshua, right? There's that sound at the end that the ayin was originally pronounced as. Now, let's move up to Galilee. How would it be pronounced now?
Yeshua.
Does that mean anything to you all? Yeshua.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that the people that don't believe in
Tetragrammaton.
Yeshua call him Yeshu.
Very good. Okay, so here's the connection then. The Galileans are going around calling him Yeshu, and of course they have that sound at the end, but the Judeans don't hear it because it's not pronounced their way, blah, blah, blah. So Yeshu is the way that the Galileans might have said it, but the Judeans just hear this, Yeshu. And so what did they do? They turned this into an acronym. This becomes the word Yimach, which means erase or wipe. This becomes Shem, which means name. And this Vav becomes his. May his name be erased or wiped. So they made a cute little, they were probably real proud of themselves and patting themselves on the back and coming up with this acronym that sounds like the way the Galileans were probably pronouncing it anyway.
And if you go to the first century boat in Galilee, the what they call the Jesus boat.
Mm.
On the wall in Hebrew, they use the No Jesus acronym. I know
Mm.
a pastor that's had several conversations with their managements
Hmm.
about them
Sure. Sure.
using
Yeah.
that when they're funded by people that don't even know what it says.
Right, exactly. I mean, you know, I don't know if you guys know who the previous president was, but putting the word sleepy in front of his first name, you know, we kind of snicker a little bit, right? But if we do that to someone who is very dignified, well, then it's a little bit different story, and someone will get offended. And so that's essentially what's happening here. The non-Yeshua believing Jewish population thinks it's funny, Yeshu. And honestly, they have every right to do that because they believe that Yeshua is somewhere along the lines of either Mickey Mouse or that guy whose acronym of his name, his initials are AH. I don't know if I can say it on here without getting banned. Anyway, the point is that Christianity has presented Yeshua for so long as the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Greek god that who was born on Christmas, died on Easter, and came to do away with the law, that the Jewish population actually believed them. And now, you know, we've made our bed and now we need to sleep in it. That needs to be reversed. Turns out he's not Egyptian. He's actually Joseph, right? He's not a foreign god. He's actually our brother, you know. So eventually that veil is going to be lifted, and Yeshua is going to identify himself to his brothers, and there will probably be much weeping, tears of joy,
Right.
hopefully, right? So I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but right now we're still stuck in this false paradigm that before too long is going to be rectified, and I'm totally looking forward to that day when his name and reputation is completely vindicated. So, Anatoly, you've been waiting very patiently. We'll go ahead and skip the rest of verse 3 so you can get to verse 4. Please, verse 4, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. Just before we start to read it, when Jesus was crucified, Pilate wrote on his, on the board in 3 languages: Latin, Hebrew, and Greek. And it was written Yeshua Melech Judea. So those, when you look at the first letters, it comes with tetragram Adonai.
Yeshua Hanotz. Yeshua Hanotz. No, is it Notzri?
That's,
Yeshua.
it comes like tetragram.
Right.
Adonai.
Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah. Yeshua Hanotzri U Melech HaYehudim. The first letter of all 4 of those words is Yod He Vav He. It's a possibility. Is it a slam dunk? Not necessarily, but it definitely preaches. That's pretty cool that that one of the possible renditions of the Hebrew could have kind of spelled out the ineffable name over Yeshua's head. Anyway, there are plenty of arguments against it, but it certainly is inspirational. Anatoly, do you want to read now?
Yeah, I'd love to read it. I was just wondering why it was written in 3 languages.
Are you too far from the microphone? We're barely hearing you.
Oh yeah. It's a thunderstorm, and I'm in the car. Let me just read. Not 4 verse 4.
Right.
It's rain. It's gushing right here in this area. Who's a county, not far from Lynchburg.
All right. Verse 4, come on.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hagoel Ishahat Hayahi Ham Rehi Yes Darachabim.
Very good. Right. Hagoel משחת חייכי, המעטרכי chesed verachamim. All right, so what we're seeing so far is avonechi, tachaluaichi, chayaichi, hameatrechi. What do you notice?
Repeating that sound.
Exactly. So the chi is happening over and over
Oh,
again. So these are all 2FS suffixes.
Alliteration. What's this? Key. Alliteration.
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't understand,
It's
Anatoly. The
alliteration, like alliteration.
no, well, it's not that it's alliteration. It's just, well, I mean, it's consonants. When you use the same consonants over and over again, it's called consonants. I now realize that the noun consonants and consonants are, but it's poetry, so you can do that. Goel, this is the same word we get to see in like Isaiah 53, the Redeemer, the one who is doing the action of redeeming. It's an active participle. Mi shachat, from a pit. This is a prepositional phrase, right? The one who is redeeming from a pit. Redeeming what? Then we get the object. Chayaichi. What's the root? Chet yod yod. Or originally Chet Vav Yod. We know this because of Eve's, Adam and Eve. Eve's name is Chava. We know that was an original Vav that turns into a Yod in Hebrew, but whatever. Chayaichi would be your life. Wait, the your, is all of this still referring back to Nafshi? Earlier it was, right? Hey, you, bless. Hey, you, don't forget. Your iniquity, your diseases, it's all going back to 2FS. It's all going back to that that 2FS soul or nefesh, which is actually referring to self. It's like one is talking to himself by speaking to his nefesh. Okay, so Goel Mishachat Chayaichi, the one who is redeeming your life from a pit. Ha-me'atrechi. So what kind of a word is this? Can you help me parse this out?
It's
PL.
a participle.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I hear participle because of the mem. I hear PL because of the shva patach dagesh. What else?
It's in
P
construct.
again.
Right, exactly. The echi is the 2FS suffix. What about the
The
hey?
high, that's that you talk about that can only go with the participle.
I'm going to call it a definite article, but its job is to provide extra information. Exactly. The one crowning you. What is it? Ateret is a crown. So the root
Yeah.
ein tet resh. The one who is crowning you, chesed verachamim. Why are we just placing a couple of nouns randomly here at the end of the verse? Oh, adverbial. How is this one crowning you? With chesed verachamim. Of course, those are very, very rich words in and of themselves, but I digress. Covenant loyalty is a great translation. Compassion's like like that of a mother towards her baby, in the sense of rechem is a womb. So rachamim, you get that picture of compassion, and it's always in the plural when talking about compassions. And
Yeah.
all right, verse 5. Here we come. Who wants to read?
Letter M
Oh, well, nope,
came
not
from
yet.
this letter. Just a second. Letter M. Rechem. Letter M.
Well,
M came from this word Rechem.
I'm saying that the two are related. Yeah, rechem, womb, and rachamim, they appear to come from the same root. Are they necessarily? We'd have to do a little bit of research, but at face value, it looks like they come from the same root. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at M, especially not Sophie, but M. The beginning looks like umbilical cord, and it's Rechem indicates.
All right, who's up for reading verse 5? Gabriel, have you not read yet?
No,
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, I'm
Please.
no
sorry.
Oh,
problem.
sorry, Cheryl, do you have a question?
Nope, nope, nope. I'll just
Okay,
wait till
Gabriel
you.
first, and then verse 6 will be for Cheryl. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Okay. Hamasbia batov ejeh titchadesh kanesher neurahi. Yeah.
Avonechi, tachaluaichi, chayaichi, hameatrechi, neuraichi, edrech. One of these things is not like the others.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
hmm,
So
it's a
all of the
unicorn.
original but the one.
There's a number next to it, so there's an alternative
Oh
somewhere.
my goodness, there's a number next to it. There's an
A
N.
letter, I mean.
Yeah, there's some sort of a link right here. So we click on that, and hopefully it opens up in the notes that this could possibly be something else. Now, is what I'm putting here definite? No, it's speculation. But do we really need to light a candle to see the sun? We have chi, and then one that's different.
Oh,
It doesn't take much for us to wonder, did somebody screw up a little here? Should this actually be something else? And so what can we do with a fact like this? Well, we could go to other ancient translations and see if they are a little different. Greek Septuagint, Peshitta, or the possibly the Latin. We could go check out the Dead Sea Scrolls, see if there's a variant. I'm not sure there is a variant here, but there's still enough evidence here to warrant a little bit of speculation. Does this even make sense? Hamasbia batov edyech. Okay, what does hamasbia mean?
Satisfy.
Right.
That's
Sava means to be, you just ate. Now you're sitting
Less
on the couch,
satisfaction.
tapping your belly, going, ah, right? You're satisfied. But masbia is the he feel participle, one who makes satisfied.
Satisfied.
So that means someone is feeding me. Thank you very much. And what is this one feeding me with? Batov, with good things. Wait, batov is a prepositional phrase. What is the direct object of this verb though? It's not tov. We're not feeding the tov. We're feeding something else. What are we feeding? Well, if we look at all these other patterns, we have participle, how it's done, what it was done to. Right? So here's your participle, here's your participle, there's your prepositional phrase, and here's your object. So if we use that as a pattern, then that means we should have a participle, check. We should have a prepositional phrase, check. So this should be our
Object.
what pray
Tablet
tell?
ornaments.
What pray tell is an edi,
A D is an ornament like a jewel.
an ornament or a
Modern
jewel.
Hebrew.
So we're going to feed our jewels with good things until it's satisfied.
That's bad.
What? That doesn't make any sense. So you can understand why the textual critical scholars are looking at they're kind of side-eyeing this word right here, like, no, obviously this was something else. What could it be? And so you go to a reference book like the Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia, the BHS, or the newer one is the Biblia Hebraica Quinta, I think, which is like the 5th edition. And it'll have some speculation there at the bottom to say something like, maybe this should be a different word like odechi. Oh, well, that's a pretty simple switcheroo right there, isn't it? What if somebody just got these backwards? Remember, the vowels didn't exist yet. It was just consonants. So instead of Ein Dalet Yod, remember final kaf is the original kaf. Medial kaf came about later on. So what if somebody at some point got them backwards like this? Or sorry, they copied it backwards what would this word be? There aren't many options. Odechi is one of them. Okay, so what is odechi? Od.
Yeah,
What is od?
Mouth.
more.
It's like more, still, endurance, continuation. Okay. And then someone else who wasn't quite as clever came up with this one over here. I wonder if it was actually supposed to be bisarechi. That would certainly fit the parallelism better. But how do you get those letters from that? You know, it's a lot
Yeah.
more plausible to say someone just switched a letter rather than saying that they messed up on 3 different letters.
So it's like your duration, like your continuance, like
Yeah.
that's what I get at it.
He
Yeah,
is
that would make
satisfying.
sense.
He is satisfying the continued to be you
Mhm.
with good stuff.
Continuance.
That makes a lot more sense than feeding your jewels. So anyway, this is a note that is present in the Hebrew Foundation's Bible. It's also, I'm pulling from scholarly sources. And so things like that kind of help the reader get through this verse when you're kind of scratching your head, like, how do you feed ornaments? Titchadesh is a hitpa'el verb. What does hitpa'el typically tell us?
Reflexive or
Reflexive.
reciprocal.
Reflexive or reciprocal. Reflexive means one is doing it to oneself, and reciprocal means
To each other.
Each other.
yeah, like multiple people are doing it to each other. Exactly. It's hard to give a hug without receiving one, right? It's hard to correspond without somebody writing me back, right? Hitpa'el can represent those reciprocal verbs. So which one is this? Is it reflexive or reciprocal?
Reflect.
Reflexive.
It's yeah, reflexive. It's speaking about the youth renewing its. Well, no.
So there's one.
It's
there's
to
one
self.
more. There's one more option for hitpa'el.
Passive.
That would be an oversimplification, but it's the right direction to call it a passive. Let me put it this way. Does anybody know what the word factative means?
When you turn something into an
It's
object.
it's assigning
Stated.
a state of being. If I suppose there is a glass that is empty, I can say that glass is empty. And then somebody comes along and fills it, and I can be like, that glass is full. But if I'm the one actually doing the action of turning it into a full glass, that is factative. Okay. I'm making that state of being, that being full, I'm making it true for that glass. That's what factative means, right? Now, from the time that the glass is empty to the time that the glass is full, that state of being is in flux. It's changing. Whenever you have a state of being that is in flux, that is changing, hitpa'el may be used. So suppose we're cooking some delicious food. It's not done yet. In 5 minutes, it will be done. It is being made well cooked. Okay. Does anyone know the verb for cooking?
Bashal.
Oh, good. Okay, so the kal verb bashel is a stative verb, and I could describe fruit as being bashel. What would it mean?
Ripe.
Ripe. Exactly. Now, how does one make food ripe or ready to eat?
You cook it.
Takes time.
One
It's a
cooks.
process.
One cooks it. Right? That stuff is really hard and chewy, but if I cook it, boy, it's soft and tender. So the PL bishel is using that factative, making something bashel, edible or ripe or bringing it to a state of being cooked. So what does it mean if a food is Here, I'll put it this way. Mit bashel. Mit bashel. Now it's in the hit pa'el.
Cooking.
Now its state of being is in flux. It's moving. It's transforming. That's what's happening here. Titchadesh, meaning it's not new yet, but it's getting there. It's becoming new. Kanesher ne'uraichi. So your youth is sorry, that would no. We're still talking to you, O soul, Nefesh. So she is being renewed in a state of flux, like an eagle, right? Ka neshir. And then ni'oraichi. What do we do with that? Is that an adverb?
No. What did you say? Is that a what?
Is ni'oraich or ni'oraichi being used as an adverb? Is it
I
being
think
used
it depends
adverbially?
it's a noun. Ori would be my youth. So
This is what I'm getting at, is that hit pa'el doesn't take an object. So this is not a direct object.
okay.
It is masculine plural. It is not feminine singular, so it's also not the subject. 0 for 0. So why is this word ne'oraichi here?
Is it a construct chain?
Like the eagle of your youths? I don't know what that would mean. I mean, it's certainly something to explore. Maybe there's some sort of a variant here that could be explained that way. But as the text sits, I think it is one is being renewed as compared to, like, or with, or something like that. And therefore it would be kind of a how it is done, which, yes, it becomes adverbial, like that of your youth time
Okay.
periods or something like that. Maybe.
It goes back to
I
Edir. Maybe is it connected with that? Like
Well,
your
that's exactly. So
continuance?
if we're talking about one's continuance, all of a sudden that fits a lot better in parallel with ne'oraichi, if this were odechi. But then what's Nesher doing here?
Well, there's lots of things about the eagle that you can only do if you're young, like fly high and all the things they do.
Being
Yeah.
renewed or refreshed.
Oh no, the
That's
eagle. No, the eagle. Oh, yeah. The eagle story is that they molt and they go into the valley. And when they're molting, they actually get renewed by other eagles dropping fish and things for them to eat.
wow.
That's the story behind
Wow.
that, I believe.
That's deep. Okay, so the soul is the
Interesting.
nefesh is being renewed as it would be with an eagle.
You receive
And
something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
you have to receive it. Yeah.
and that would be parallel with the masbia. And so what I was about to say until that gem that you just dropped, unintended, is that we have parallelism here, and we have modify the text. All of a sudden, we have parallelism here. What do we do with that? Is that parallel?
Not really.
Must be.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
those are the kinds of things where the scholars come in and they're like, this isn't 100%. Is this really what it was? Is this, is there any way that this could possibly be improved upon? It's not necessarily someone sitting there going, the Bible is broken, let's fix it with our own ideas. Okay. That is not their goal. Their goal is, if the Bible has been corrupted, what are the possible corrections? And they're not always gold, but sometimes they are. Like the Odechi, that fits
That's
amazingly
so
well.
fits, yeah. And it makes sense to me. I don't know, but Tove. I mean, if they're going by what happens to an eagle in its life, it makes perfect sense because it's receiving nourishment Masbia, it's receiving good things for its journey, like Elijah received from the raven, for the rest of his journey, continuance of endurance or whatever. That's what it seemed to me. It seems to fit.
I'm not going to speak any more specifics on this verse, but I do want to zoom out for a second and just point out that letter confusions occur a lot in the Bible, and among them, Kaf and Bet is a huge candidate. What if this were originally Ba, so that it's in parallel with this? Then does that help us reframe the word nesher, or possibly some other word like kaf shin resh, or nun shin dalid, or other letters that get confused easily in handwritten manuscripts? Is it a possibility? Again, I'm not saying these things because we need to hurry up and we need to jump in there and fix the Bible. No, the Bible is fine. But if someone along the way messed up something here or there, well, then let's use our heads. God gave us brains. Let's use it. And so anyway, that is something to keep in mind. Those are, having gone through all the variants in the Hebrew Bible, I got to see a lot of really cool variants. I'm like, oh, wow, I've learned a lot. I feel like I could write a dissertation on this now. So anyway, just letting you know those things do exist. Who would like to read verse 6?
I'll read it.
Yay! Henny, verse 6.
עושה צדקות אדוני ומשפטים לכל עשוקים.
It's a short one, yeah. Osei tzedakot Adonai umishpatim lechol ashukim. Where's the parallelism here? None? What, did I turn my volume down? You guys got nothing but crickets on this end.
I'm not seeing it.
Tzedakot goes with
Righteousness and
mishpatim.
judgment.
So tzedakot goes with mishpatim. But on the right-hand side, we have the subject and the participle that's acting like a verbal adjective. So we'll call it the action, but it's really a participle. And over on the right-hand side, the object is what's in parallel, the object 1 and object 2. Then we add clarification to the end with a prepositional phrase. So there is a word pair there, but it seems like it's combining what do they call it? Synthetic parallelism, where you kind of add extra information to help clarify a previous point. It's combining that with synonymous parallelism between tzedakot and mishpatim, right? So it's not just always one clear-cut style of parallelism. You can get mix and matches of them. That's what it looks like to me. It's pretty cool. And so in that case, Adonai Osei is acting elliptical, because Adonai Osei is also over here. He's Oseiing Mishpatim. But to whom? Lechol Ashukim. Oh, I wonder if he's also doing the tzedakot to them also. It's almost like a backwards ellipsis. Anyway, I think it's beautiful. Comments, questions? All right, verse 7. Who wants to read next? Tuesday?
Yodia derahav lemoshe livnei Yisrael alilotav.
You saw the siluk. Very good. Alilotav. That's not normal. It's usually alilotav. Very good. Thank you. I would have probably mispronounced it.
Me too.
Yodia derachav lemoshe livnei Yisrael alilotav. Why did the stress move over here?
In the verse.
End of verse, exactly. It's the end of the verse, so it's going to be a pausal form. All right, help me parse out Yodia.
He feel.
Okay, he feel. Root.
You dalet I.
Good. I'm gonna call it original Vav Dalit Ayin. The he feel the he feel explains the Chirik Yod, but he feel is supposed to have a patach right here.
Is that Katal? No. Yeah.
It cannot be katal. Katal means it's a completed tense with a katal suffix.
Positive.
If it were katal, if we wanted to say he did make known, the form would be hodia. Hodia, like this. And Gabriel, what did you say?
Yada for the
Okay,
root.
right. The root is yada, or more originally vav dalit ayin. I heard someone else say something, and I missed it.
Okay.
Okay, so my
Positive, right? He
right.
made
If it's
known.
exactly so, if it's he feel, that is by definition causative. And so the question on the table is, are we sure this is he feel? Sure, I see the chirik yod, but he feel is supposed to have a patach there. In the yiktol, it's supposed to have a patach. It should be yaudia. Hint. Here, let me write it down. Yaudia.
O goes to an O.
A W in Hebrew
Oh.
becomes an O. That's the dialectic shift that we get to see in Hebrew. So Yaudia becomes Yodia. Yes, it did originally have a patach there. The dialect shifted it. So
That's
yes,
the
it is
Canaanite
Hebrew.
shift.
No. Canaanite shift is when a kamatz and an open syllable becomes a long O vowel. And for example, in Arabic, if you want to say shalom, it's salam. And it has a long ah right here. Salam alaikum, right? That right there in Hebrew becomes shalom. So here you get a long ah becoming long o. That's the Canaanite shift. And unfortunately, the exact exactly what is affected by the Canaanite shift is not very well defined. People have tried hard and spilled much ink on trying to define when exactly kamatz becomes cholam, and there's just really no consensus. There are always exceptions. So
What kind of shift did you call that, please?
I called it the Canaanite.
On the he made known it is?
Say again?
On the he made known when
It is no. The back up for just a bit. Someone asked whether the O vowel in this he made known, whether that is a result of something called the Canaanite shift, and my answer was no. And then I went on this kind of bunny trail about what the Canaanite shift is. So just on that aside, something called the Canaanite shift is when the so-called Canaanite area Semitic languages, such as Canaanite, Hebrew, I think Moabite, there's probably another one I'm missing. Ammonite, maybe? Those Canaanite languages, that family of languages, all experienced a dialectic shift where long ah sometimes becomes long o. And we see tons of examples of it, but nobody can really perfectly define when it happens. It's too messy. So they just give it this magical title, call it the Canaanite shift, and that is it. But that is not what happened here in Yodia. There was a Hebrew shift from an original AW. That ow sound becomes sort of an O sound. I wonder if we have something like that in English.
So is that Yikto?
Yes, ma'am. The yod at the front is the dead giveaway that it's a yiktol. And if we can envision that original patach here, that confirms our suspicion that it's yiktol. 3MS, he did it. He will do it. He will cause knowing. He will make known. Boy, that was a fun little
Like that's
trip
kind of
around.
past I mean,
Yeah.
he made known as past tense to Moses, but yet it's Yikto. What?
Hmm.
That is what a universal truth. What is that? Iterative?
Oh, I'm so glad you pointed that out. We've got an actual historical character, Moses, here, who has been long dead for a very long time. So how in the world could Yodia, a Yiktol, which usually connotes incompleted action, be telling us that it was done? Very good. You found a contradiction.
Interesting.
So what do we do with it? Just scratch our heads about it? There's a solution.
And
Who
is
remembers
Yictol
the
not,
solution?
Yictol has other uses besides future, though.
Okay,
The
if we're
universal truth?
looking at an extremely archaic poem, if we are, then that means we have to start thinking in archaic Hebrew terms. Now, we do get to see all these kaf yods popping up, referring to hers, yours, O soul, yours this, yours that, and that is well within the realm of archaic. So I wonder if what we're looking at here could be archaic. Cheryl, I think you just need to go out and say it. Come on out and say it.
He had been making known, or he
Okay,
Yeah,
what's the difference between... There you go. What's the difference between Yaktul and Yaktulu?
Yeah. There's
Well,
a good
an ooh on the end, right? Okay, in case nobody understands what I'm saying right now, let me pause and back up just a little bit. In Hebrew, when we use the word yiktol, what are we talking about? Someone who's just studied this stuff recently. Maybe you can shed some light on this. What does the word yiktol tell us?
Simple
Incompleted
future.
action.
Some kind of an incompleted action. Very good. Only problem is, I taught this not too terribly long ago, so it's fresh on my brain. If you take all of the so-called yiktol verbs in the Bible and check how many of them actually fit the pattern EO, what percentage of them do you think actually fit the pattern yiktol?
Not many.
3%.
Holy.
No wonder I
A
struggle.
whopping 3%. Well, then why do
Uh,
we use the word yiktol? Well, that's a good question. Maybe we shouldn't be using it. But the point is, we use the word yiktol because that's the pattern that we expect Hebrew incompleted action verbs to be in. But it seems like there's always something getting in the way, whether it's a guttural, whether it's a weak verb, whether it's a
stative
whether it's
even.
exactly whether it's a stative, whether it's a different
Puzzle.
binyan, whether it's just all these variables, right? So yiktol is actually an imprecise label. If we go back in time a little bit further, it would be more accurate to use the term yaktulu. Yaktulu is closer to the Proto-Semitic, the hypothetical language from which all Semitic languages come is called Proto-Semitic. Whatever form it originally used, it was probably this, Yaktulu. The U becomes an O, the the people get lazy, they start pronouncing it more like an E. The U on the end completely just falls off, and that's how we get Yiktol. But Yaktulu is the original pattern. All right, so basically by saying the word Yaktulu, I'm saying the same thing as what we think of when we say Yiktol. Now, in contrast to that, I've now put this second term here and called it Yaktul, which looks an awful lot like the first one, but it's completely different. In what way? Semitic languages that are much older than Hebrew use a prefix conjugation for preterite actions.
Things that happened in the past.
Past. You've got to be kidding. You can't make this stuff up. So you put prefixes on the front for future and you put prefixes on the front for past? Well, yeah. It's just that there used to be a distinguishing vowel at the end to say, this is future, or you leave it off, this is past, and Hebrew lost it. So Hebrew actually how do we say this? Reallocated, reappropriated a completely different verbal form and turned it into the preterite or past tense. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm getting at is if you go back far enough in time, both the future and the past tense, as it were, both had prefixes. Jared, I don't believe you. Is there any way you could substantiate this? I mean, it seems all just kind of like speculation here. Yes, absolutely. Go to the Song of the Sea. Remember after Israel crosses the Red Sea, that Moses sings this Song of the Sea, and in it, it has a whole bunch of these where it looks like a yiktol, but it's actually describing something that's already happened. You can also go to Job. Happens a lot there also because Job is a very old book. And so this does exist. And so we should probably be looking at this as an archaic Yaktul, that is Yaktul preterite form. So what does this do? It just further confirms that the psalm that we're reading is quite old. Linda, you have your hand up.
You're a freak.
Linda, yeah, absolutely. I get all worked up about the
Wow.
strangest things. Linda, you had your hand up. Do you
Yeah,
want to?
I
You
have a question about that. So on the Yuktol, I have a little note on my cheat sheet here that it could be habitual repeated action, but not all the time, like a past iterative. Is that
Right.
what you're talking about?
Not at all. So in Hebrew, there are essentially. We all speak English. Let me start with English. In English, how many tenses do we have?
A
We have
lot.
a lot. We have present, future, past, future perfect, future
Past
pluperfect, past perfect. What else do we have? Continuous, habitual, subjunctive. I mean, tons of tenses in English. In the broadest, using the broadest paintbrush one could, how many tenses are there in Hebrew? Oversimplify the situation, there are two. There are nuances, but let's just start with the basics. There are two tenses in Hebrew. Either the action you're talking about is completed or it is not. Now, when we have to translate a verbal system this simple into a language as complicated as English, we have to pick up on every verbal cue we possibly can to translate it into the correct nuanced English verbal tense. Okay, so I could have one Hebrew word like shamar, which could mean he guarded. It could mean he was or he did guard. He has guarded. He had guarded. Or it could mean he will have guarded. What?
Yeah.
That one word can mean all those different things? Yeah, sure. And you just use the clues in the rest of the text in order to figure out which one it is. Likewise with the yiktol. Yiktol simply means the action is not completed from the perspective of the speaker. Okay, suppose I'm telling a story. Oh, when I was a kid, you know what we used to always do? My mind has gone back 40 years or whatever, 30, 20 years. And never be ashamed to lie about your age. That's what I've learned in my 29 years. So the incompleted action yiktol likewise could represent a whole host of possible translations depending on the context. Remember, in Hebrew, context is king, whereas in English, you use the right tense to supply the nuances. So yes, the yiktol can mean he will guard, he guards every day, he continues to guard, he will be guarding, he used to guard when he was back in his heyday. It could mean any of those because it represents an incompleted action from the perspective of the speaker. And
Question, Jared.
question. Tim, you're gonna have to wait. What is it, Tuesday?
Could it just be that the Vav is missing? It's a Vayikto.
Ooh. That would be an anachronistic viewpoint.
No,
The
I have to go. I'm sorry. I had to ask. I have to
of
listen to
course.
the recording, but I had to ask. Anyway, thank you. It's been so interesting.
So before you go, all I mean to say is the Vav in Vayiktol was invented much later on as
Ah,
in reaction to Hebrew
mhm.
losing the U vowel that distinguished the two Yaktul versus Yaktulu verbs. When they
Ah,
lost the U at the end, there had to be something to come in and distinguish the two. And the Vav at the front is probably a shortened form of the verb haya.
gotcha.
How is it
Um,
that way? Well, that's a whole discussion all of its own. The original root of haya was probably hey vav yod, and what we're seeing in Vayiktol is the vav patach dagesh representing the missing yod of the verb Hawaii, which is the original form of the verb haya. So it's like it was that blah 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 was happening.
Gotcha.
That was
Thank you.
the disambiguation mark. That was the invention of Vayiktol. The invention of Vekatal was much less um climactic, if I can say that. It was much more it was just a reaction to the creation of Vayiktol. Okay,
Thank you.
we are over time and we didn't even get to the end of this verse. Holy smokes. We're gonna have to pick this up next time, I suppose. Tim, what's your hand up
Yes.
for? What do you have a question or to read?
Yeah, so just so you guys know, Jared's been instructing me on this privately, but so yada would be he knew. So if we insert the he fill form, it would be hodeya, he made known. So the holum is identifying the missing hey. So you have yod hey, Bob becomes yod, but it turns to Bob. So we by identifying the hey, the missing hey from the holum, we have he feel, and the yod gives us the 3ms yigtol form.
In Yehoshua, who is Yehoshua?
Yeshua.
Joshua.
Josh,
Joshua.
yeah, we usually translate it
Joshua.
as Joshua. So Yehoshua, this U right here is possibly referring to a later Hefil Chirik Yod. And what we're looking at here is a Yiktol Yod, Hey of the Hefil, and then original root letter Vav, which turned the Patach Vav into an O sound. This, ladies and gentlemen, is probably a 3ms original 3ms Yiktol Hefil. The hey in most Yiktol he feels is simply swallowed up. Rather than Yeho, it just becomes yo. And that's precisely what happens here in the Yiktol form of this verb. It should have been Yehodia, Yehodia, but the hey gets swallowed and it just becomes Yodia. There are plenty of examples of hey getting swallowed up or missing. Remember, like Baha. What does Baha become? Preposition ba with definite article ha. What does it become?
Ba.
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 Ba. Exactly. Lost the hay, swallowed up the hay. So the exact same thing happens that happened here is also what happened in the he feel. It should have been Yehodia becomes Yodia. And now I have informed you and you know.
That's
We'll have to pick up from verse 7, I suppose, next time. We did not get very
Yeah.
man, how many verses are there left? Is it just oh, come on. Who wants to hang out and just finish this out?
I will.
Okay.
I would.
If anyone has the
Yeah.
stamina for it, I certainly do. Who wants to read verse 8? Okay, I will. Rachum v'chanun Adonai erech apayim v'rav chesed. It's a pausal form, not chesed, chesed. Rachum, we got to see earlier from rachamim, so compassionate. V'chanun, and chen, gracious, is, implied verb, the Lord. Erech, length, long. Apayim, nostrils, nose, figuratively representing anger, long of nose, having a long fuse, verav chassid, and great of covenant loyalty. Aline, do you want to read verse 9?
Sure. It says, Lo la netzcha
Netzach.
netzcha yareb
Oh.
yariv velo leolam yehor.
Yitor. Exactly. It looks like a root letter is missing in here. Yitor. Anybody have any idea what root letter might be missing here?
Nun.
Maybe. Yeah.
No.
So what is nun tet resh? Everyone knows that root. Nun tet resh, of course. Both tzadi and tet were originally emphatic. They have an sound built into them. So this would be ta, and this would be tha.
Ta.
In Aramaic, these two get swapped out sometimes. So the root natsar and the root natar are actually related. What is natsar? Netzer, notzri, notzrim, natseret.
Keep.
Right. So it's the idea
Don't keep.
of a branch that continues the life of the plant, or to keep, or to guard. And natal is therefore a cognate of it, and that's what they're doing here. Yitor, he shall keep. Now, all of that notwithstanding, I have a little bit of trouble understanding exactly what's going on in this verse. Lola netzach yariv, not for perpetuity, forever. He will do the action of riv. What is riv?
Oh.
In modern
Well-
Hebrew, it means to quarrel. But in a biblical sense, it's more like presenting one's case, like arguing one's case. So doing it forever, this would be like beating a dead horse. Presenting in perpetuity one's case. It's like you move on, right? You're beating a dead horse here. Velo leolam, well, that appears to be parallel to this. Yitor. I'm sorry, those two don't sound like they are parallel. What do English translations do with this? Well, let's find out. And let's go. Nope, is it working? Oh, there it is. Turn the English translation on. He will not always accuse, neither will he stay angry forever. You see what they did there? Stay angry. So what are they doing here? Are they pulling from the apayim from earlier and applying it to what it is that he will keep? I don't know. I would rather think that's a bad thing if he doesn't keep or guard forever. But if he's not keeping his anger forever, well, then hallelujah. Let's see. Who's going to read the final verse 10? Oh,
All
there's
right.
not. It's
Oh,
not
there's
10. It's
I was
oh
gonna
my
say mine.
gosh. My version
wow.
has more than 10 verses. All right. Tell you what, let's go ahead
Nice.
and shut it down then. Yeah. Sorry
When
for
you
being
said you
so
were going to
chatty.
finish, I thought, boy, you are really ambitious.
Oh, I could just quickly read it and call it done, but
Oh,
that
but
wouldn't be
we're
very
learning so
edifying.
much.
Oh, look at that. We're making full circle. See, I made a circle. No, I'm kidding. Gamal he is doing the action of repaying, goes back to our original discussion about gemulav, the things that are repaid. And so there we get to see the kal katal verb, gamal. Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to mark it on the board that we're going to pick up from Psalm 103, verse 10 next week. Oh, my wife is having family over next week.
Oh,
I don't know what that means for me. I'll have to
Put it on the chat.
I'll have to put it in the chat. I would love to just come out. I don't want to hang out with her family. No, I'm kidding. It's on the recording now.
oops.
No, it's that oh my gosh. Oh, her cousin from Israel is going to be here. Sorry, I'm going to have to cancel.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a break next week. I'm going to be spending time with her cousin, and it's going to be a riot.
Have a good time.
I will.
Enjoy your
I
time.
most
Jared.
certainly will. And I will get this
Yeah.
app finished just as soon as I can. And then I'm going to need to find some volunteers who can beta test it. So let's also discuss that
Carol.
in the chat as well.
I have one quick
Jared, you're
question,
so
Jared.
good.
Sorry,
Thank you,
Cheryl.
Jared.
I had a quick question. Sorry if I'm interrupting, Gabby. When we want to get the Greek New Testament and we've already got it in our things, do we need to take it out and reorder it again, or can we go back to the original link that you sent us when we paid for it, or how does that work?
The original link doesn't work. It's only a 48-hour link. So just have your people contact my people and we'll get you what you need.
I don't know quite how to do that, but
Carol, you got people?
Privately. Yeah, right. I am my people, right?
I got
send me
people, but it's a cat.
So I want to honor all of you who have already purchased that digital version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Kindle version, the EPUB reflowable version, and the PDF that's printable, and all of those containing the Greek New Testament. I'm going to put all of that together in a now, my apologies, more expensive purchase from the website, but I want to honor all of you who have already purchased it, and I'm going to give it to you. So just contact me message me privately, please, on Telegram, and we'll work it out.
Very good.
Where do I go to find this purchase?
My website, hungryforhebrew.com, but I would suggest waiting just a little bit until I upload all of the actually, no, you can do what you want. Purchase it now at the cheaper price, and then have your people contact my people, and then you get the full thing. So in hungryforhebrew.com, Hebrew Foundations Bible, it shows you all the different ways that you can get it, and one of them is the digital version.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Share. Tell your friends.
Absolutely.
It can only help, and I feel like this could be one of the ways that God's people is going to finally get back into his word and get to know him for who he is, instead of what theology and organized religion has told us that he is.
Amen. I believe that.
Amen.
Amen. Let it be so. See you guys probably in 2 weeks.
See you
Unless you're
all.
in my class, I'll see you then. Lihitrot v'shalom.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jared,
you.
for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lihitrot.